to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video I will be creating 2 eye looks with a newer palette in my collection. This is the Titanium Foxes Poppy Storm palette. Now I found this brand on Instagram and was seeing pictures of their palettes coming up and seeing pictures of people who had created eye looks with their palettes, and I was like, so I waited a little while. I think the reason why I waited was because they were either restocking palettes or releasing. I don't remember exactly, but I finally went on to the brand's website and I picked this up, of course. Now this is a UK indie brand that I am super intrigued by, and I cannot wait to play with this palette. Look at how beautiful and different and wonderful this color story is. I just think it's absolutely stunning, and there's some beautiful, really flippy shades in here. And this is the shade that I'm really wanting to just dive right into, but I think I'm gonna hold off and use that in my second look. So I think for this look, I'm gonna be focusing on these shades right here. This is called Water Bomb, Menace, Heaven Looking, and Welcomed Rain. So I think I'm going to use these 4 shades. So I'm going to start off by using this shade called Menace in my transition area. And of course, both my brows are done, and this eyelid is primed in the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 01. And I don't know what's going on with me, but the last couple times I've sat down here to film, I keep getting stuff in my eyes. The last time I filmed, it was this eye, and now I had some weird fuzzy thing in that eye. I'm like, can you not do that, please? I hate that. It just starts your makeup routine off, you know, because you're trying to get whatever is in your eye out, and then your eye starts to water and turns bright red. At least mine does anyway. And I'm like, are you serious? Do we have to do this right now? Can we do this later, maybe? And quite often too, like when I get all of my makeup on, I'll have like a hair or a fuzz or something on my face. I can feel it, but like I can't see it, and I don't know exactly like where it's coming from, and I'm trying to get off and not like ruin my makeup, and I'm just like, this is really annoying. Does anyone else ever struggle with that? God, that drives me crazy. Part of the problem, like I've mentioned in the past, is that I do have 2 cats, and Bitsy likes to sleep in here during the day. So I do think, you know, usually it's cat fur that I have on my face. I have to be really careful of that, you know. They don't really get on my makeup space anymore. They used to, especially Reggie. He'd like hop up here, and he's learned now, don't get up on mommy's makeup desk ever. This is a really nice gray matte. I like it. It's pigmented, it's blending well, it's jiving really well with the P. Louise primer, so that's awesome. I am almost done with my P. Louise primer. There's just a teeny tiny bit left. But the thing about that product is that you really don't need a whole lot. You just need a little boop, and that's it. Just smooth it out over your eyelids and good to go. And I like it because it's really not a tacky base, which I kind of struggle with tackier bases because I just can't blend over the top of them very well. Typically, if I have a really tacky base, I have to set it with some kind of powder product because I don't know, I just can't really get it to, my brush like kind of skids or sticks. And with the P. Louise, it doesn't do that at all, which I love. P. Louise does get a little creasy, but I mean, it doesn't crease your shadows. It's just like right when you first put it on. Like if I'm talking and not getting right into my eye look, it'll get a little creasy and I have to smooth it out, but I really like it. I may have to get myself another little tube of that. Although I have other eyeshadow primers I need to use, so I'm not going to do that right away. I'm not going to get another little tube of it right away. But yeah, this is really nice. I like it. It's not patchy. It's blending well. I'm using my Refer 14 that Janny Boo sent me. Oh, I love these brushes. They're so amazing. Okay, I think that looks great. I might mess around with that a little bit more as I continue here. But I think what I'll do now is deepen up the outer V with Water Bomb, putting that, like I said, in the outer V into my crease a little bit too. And I'm going to grab my Refer 13 to do that. Love this brush. So we had a little buddy, a little friend in our backyard last weekend. So I went and got my nails done. And when I got home, my husband was taking the garbage out. And, you know, we have Reggie and Bitsy. And Reggie can be a little bit of a daredevil at times. And he thinks it's a really fun idea to try to sneak out the garage door. And then we have this like little side door. He's done that a couple of times and gotten outside, and neither one of my cats go outside. And I've had to like practically body slam him up against the house and grab him and throw him back in the house, or he'll just take off. and they have no idea where they are when they're outside here, right? Because they don't go outside. So we always have to be kind of hyper vigilant when we go out into the garage or out into the side yard that Reggie doesn't sneak out. My husband and I both made sure that Reggie did not go outside. We thought we were fine, and we were fine. I'll get to that part, but we thought he was fine, I guess. And so we sit down and we're watching TV, and it's been, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, and Reggie is not around us at all. Now, my husband had also opened up both windows downstairs. We have a window that's like in the eating area, and then a window that's on the wall behind the couch where I sit. And I did notice that Bitsy was getting up in the window and looking outside, and then kind of like hopping out and running away from the window. And I was like, what are you doing, weirdo? But Reggie was nowhere to be found. So my husband's like, have you seen Reggie over the last little while here? And I said, no, I have not. And he said, I haven't either, and that's not like him. So we need to start looking for him. So, okay. So I start calling Reggie, and he's not coming, and usually he comes right away. I mean, if you call Bitsy, Reggie will come into the room. So my husband goes upstairs and looks under our bed, doesn't see him, and we just can't find him. And so we're both panicking. And Paul's like, do you think he got outside? And I'm like, I don't know if he got outside. I don't think so. I thought we both made sure he didn't go outside. And Paul's like, well, he's done it before, so we probably should go outside and start looking. I love that blue shade. It's not patchy at all. It's applying beautifully, very pigmented, blendable. So I'm gonna go back in with this brush, just go around the outside edge here. So I go outside in the backyard, and I walk around the corner to our side yard, and here is this raccoon sitting in the kind of the weed patch that we have back there, just staring up at the window. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's what Bitsy was jumping away from. I get that now. And I'm thinking, well, did Reggie get outside and the raccoon like attacked Reggie? And like, I'm gonna walk around the corner and my cat's gonna be attacked right here. And so I kind of walk out towards the raccoon, and I'm like kind of stomping my foot and yelling at it and like, get out of here. And it's not moving really. It kind of took a couple steps away from me, but normally, I mean, they take off when they see people because they're, you know, scared. They're wild animals. And he didn't really move. So I thought, well, that's weird. So I did not see any signs of wounded Reggie. I'm going to go around with this brush here. I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. Couldn't think of the word. And I'm thinking, well, that's really weird. So and then I thought, well, if Reggie did get out and he came across this raccoon, he's terrified and would take off. So I'm thinking, oh, shit, how am I going to find Reggie? So I go back in the house, and all of a sudden my husband says, I found him. And I'm like, where is he? And he said, he's under our bed. He said, I got a flashlight out and finally could see his little eyes, and he's wedged way back under the bed, and he looks terrified. And I'm thinking, Reggie must have seen the raccoon in the backyard. So I asked my husband, I said, well, was Reggie up in the window acting funny? And he said, yeah, both cats were. And I said, well, Reggie's terrified of this raccoon, which is so funny because when I'm home alone and my husband gets home from work or wherever, and he comes to the door and like puts his key in the lock, Reggie will growl at my husband to like protect me. It's so cute. And I'm thinking, oh, tough guy, huh? You're real tough. Raccoon in the backyard and you're hiding under the bed. But I just felt awful because I'm like, oh, poor Reggie. You know, I didn't want him to be scared. I love the combo of the blue and the gray together. That's really pretty, very smoky looking. So now I think what I'll do is go into Welcomed Rain and put that right here. And it's kind of like a blue, purpley, flippy shade. So anyway, long story short, too late. My husband and I went out and, you know, kind of tried to survey the raccoon as well as we could. And he looked like there was something wrong with him. He just looked sad. He was just kind of sitting there like, we couldn't see any like real like injuries on him or anything like that. But, you know, raccoons typically here are not out during the daytime. Oh, that is gorgeous. Oh, that is, oh yeah, I could definitely see the blue and, or not blue, green and purple flippy stuff there. Oh, gorgeous. So we start looking online and we see that it could have rabies. It could have distemper, it could have parvo. There's something called pseudo rabies that they can get. I don't really know exactly what that is. Is it like rabies adjacent? I don't know. but you know, to stay away from it, of course, which obviously, and you know, we had tried to get a hold of like the animal rescue type situation, which they're all closed on Sundays here. So if you get a wild animal in your backyard on a Sunday here, no one's coming to help you. I did call the non-emergency police line and was told that, you know, we could try to get it into a crate or something, and just like, no. So yeah, it just hung out in the backyard the rest of the day. My husband and I took out a little bowl of tuna fish and some water for it, because, you know, we're like, maybe it's hungry. Also we found out that sometimes female raccoons will nestle in a yard somewhere to deliver their babies. And I'm thinking, oh, a mama raccoon's gonna have raccoon babies in my backyard. I want them. And Paul's like, we don't want baby raccoons. I'm like, be quiet, I do. So I don't know if that was the case or not. Paul even went and got like this little plastic bin and put a blankie in there and made a little bed for him, him or her, if it wanted to, you know, get all snuggly. Didn't want to do that. So we kept checking throughout the rest of the afternoon into the evening, and he was just sitting there. He wasn't eating the tuna, he wasn't drinking any water, he wasn't getting in the little bed, he was just hanging out. And at about 1 o'clock in the morning, my husband went back out to check, and he was gone, and it hasn't come back. And that is absolutely freaking stunning. I love it. I do want to make this a little crisper right here if I can. I mean, kind of a lesson in futility, because it's just going to get all blown up anyway because of my eyes being so hooded. But oh, that is so beautiful. So now, of course, I want to go into this shade right here called Heaven Looking, and I'm going to put it right towards the front there. So Reggie, though, he stayed under our bed for the rest of the day. Basically, he did end up coming out around maybe 8:30 or 9 o'clock that night, and was just terrified. I mean, he was like looking all around. He wouldn't go anywhere near the couch or the window, nowhere near it. And Bitsy was, ooh, that's pretty. Bitsy was just kind of looking at him like, what is your problem, dude? I mean, she didn't like the raccoon, but she wasn't that freaked out by him. Absolutely not. You know, and Bitsy's our little princess kitty, and she's like, dude, I got you. I got you. I will rip the raccoon's throat out. Yeah, right. But it was just, I've never seen him behave that way before. I've never seen him get scared like that before about anything. The only, well, I mean, when Sydney has brought her dog Luna over here, he does run and hide, because Luna's a Rottweiler. She's big and she's, you know, harmless, but she's, well, she's not harmless when it comes to protecting my daughter or Wesley or Chase, my son-in-law. But, you know, she's gonna lick you to death, really. If she likes you, she's gonna really like you and lick you, and she's very sweet, and, you know, but she will definitely protect Wesley, I'll tell you that much. So Reggie has gotten a little freaked out when Luna's come over here, but not like that, not ever like that. So it's taken him until, I don't know, probably yesterday afternoon, and yesterday was Tuesday. No, yesterday was Wednesday, and this happened on Sunday, but this took him until yesterday afternoon to really be calm and back to normal. I'm gonna go back in with this shade right here called Menace. I love these two shimmer shades. They are absolutely gorgeous, and I think they're jiving together really well. And what I love about this, it's like that light grayish blue to green, and then over here it looks more purple. Really fun. And I only use 2 shades, but it looks like I use like 4, you know, 4 shimmers. I love it. So I'm gonna go around the edge of this just a little bit, just to make that look a little nicer around here. So I'm hoping Mr. Raccoon or Mrs. Raccoon is okay. I don't know, obviously, but I'm really hoping that, you know, it was able to get somewhere safe and it's okay. I don't know. I have seen raccoons here, though, that look like big rabid dogs, and it scared the crap out of me. I'm going to go back in with this shade here, Water Bomb. Just kind of add a little bit more to the outer V. You know, like, I've gotten up in the morning and seen raccoons outside where I used to live, and, you know, kind of yelled at them to get off my neighbor's porch, and they were like, "Grr!" Like, okay. I mean, they're really cute, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen them eat, but they like to wash their food off, and they have like fingers. It's the like, you know, they have paws and claws, but like their paws look like human hands, especially the babies, because their hands are like kind of pink. They're so cute. They're so cute. I love raccoons. But, you know, I didn't want a rabid raccoon in the backyard. Of course, I did not. And I actually kind of got pissed at it because I'm like, you scared the crap out of my cat. My husband's like, Reggie, toughen up, dude. It's okay. I'm like, Reggie, poor Reggie. But, you know, Paul was concerned about him too. And, you know, the thing is that after we found Reggie and had kind of calmed down and realized that our cat wasn't missing, Paul just looked at me and he said, I don't ever want that to happen again, because he goes, I was terrified that we were not going to find him. And it's just, I love the fact that Paul is such an animal lover and so, like, you know, squishy and tender when it comes to animals. I just love that about him. You know, I mean, he was like gonna save the raccoon. I'm out there yelling at it to get out of the backyard, and he's like, you want me to make you a bed? I'll make you a bed. So cute. But yeah, I love that about Paul. That's one of his most attractive traits to me, is how much he loves animals. It's just wonderful. And I think this looks amazing. I love how smoky it is, and I love these shimmers. I might actually, let me see, I might kind of mess with this just a little bit with my finger just to kind of make that look a little more cohesive right there. But I love this. I think it's gorgeous. It is kind of blown up, but it's going to get blown up anyway. I got to get over that weirdness. So what I'll do is I'll clean up the fallout here, do my other eye, the rest of my face. I'll come back. So this is finished look number 1, and I love how it turned out. I know I didn't talk a whole lot about my eyeshadows, or the eyeshadows, as I was applying them to my eyelids, but I'm really happy with how everything performed that I used today for this look. And of course, I'll show you the palette again before moving on to look number 2, but let me show you just a couple things I threw on my face for my finished look. On my lips, I used a super lustrous lipstick from Revlon in the shade 447 Black Cherry. I just felt like a darker lip shade would look good with this eye look today. And I've had these lipsticks, I got these at TJ Maxx for quite some time, and I just love them. And this is one of my favorite shades that I grabbed out of that set. And then for my upper lid liner, I used the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Waterproof Felt Tip Liner in black. And then I'm still using the Banger Mascara from Makeup Mecca. Love it. So now let's talk about the eyeshadow palette again, Poppy Storm. I really liked both mattes that I used, these two here. This was Water Bomb and Menace, just gorgeous. They were very pigmented and blendable. They weren't patchy. I really liked how these two played together. And then the two shimmer shades that I used, Welcomed Rain and Heaven Looking, absolutely stunning. Very opaque, just very dynamic. This is very shifty from that green to purple. And then this is just a beautiful kind of grayish blue metallic shimmer shade. And I am just thrilled with how everything performed and how this look came together. I also used a combination of these two on my lower lash lines today as well. And also for my inner corner shade, I was gonna use this shade right here, this one called Shy Ray of Light. But I think I'm going to use that, well, I know I'm going to use that in my second look, because I just felt like the tone was a little too, I don't know, just when I swatched it and looked at it in comparison to these two shades, I was like, nah, I don't know that I want to pull it into this look particularly. So I grabbed my Sugar Drizzle Mini Glow Cube palette here, and I use this shade right here. It's kind of like a bluey greeny mixture, and I love it. I think it looks really pretty in my inner corners. So without any further ado, let's keep playing with this palette. Let's get on to look number 2. Alrighty, so look number 2 with the Titanium Foxes Poppy Storm palette. Now I'm looking at this palette and I'm thinking, what do I want to do with it? And I think what I'm going to do, I really want to use a shade, of course, Poppy Lava. I also want to use that one too, called Poppy Love, but I think I am going to focus on that one today. And I think what I would like to do here, I think, is put this shade here called Poppy Loading towards the front part of the transition area, then put Poppy Stuff on the latter half. And then I think I'm going to either deepen the outer V up with Poppy Blood or See You Tomorrow. I can't decide which, maybe both. And then I'm definitely going to use Poppy Lava across the lid. And it's this very cool red and green flippy shade. So starting off with the shade here called Poppy Loading and putting that towards the front part of the transition area. Of course, both of my brows are done, and this eyelid is primed in the P. Louise eyeshadow base in room 101. And I had a bit of a rough day today. yeah. You know how you have those days sometimes where the universe just seems to conspire against you? Well, that's kind of what I had happen to me today. Not to sound like a whiny baby or anything. I mean, it always could be worse, right? But I don't know. Work was really intense. And also I woke up with a raging migraine, which I've been doing that lately for some reason. And I know why. I'm pretty sure I know why. I think it's because I'm not drinking enough water. I'm pretty convinced that like I'm pretty much always in a state of dehydration because I drink a ton of coffee and I just don't drink enough water. I don't know why. I know better. I suffer from kidney stones, so you would think I would constantly have a water bottle with me. And when I pass a kidney stone or have had them removed, of course, then I'm all on the water kick. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm drinking all the water and I'm not going to not drink water and I have to water. And then inevitably, you know, I guess I forget the pain of a kidney stone, which is impossible to do, but I just am not mindful of it. And so then I don't drink enough water, drink a ton of coffee. Coffees can cause my kidney stones to form, because I have calcium oxalate stones, which are the product of drinking too much coffee. Well, I mean, not for everybody, but just because my kidneys don't process the oxalate. So it just kind of gathers up in a little stone in my kidney. Anyway, I finally got my migraine to calm down about midway through the morning. I almost stayed home from work. I was like, my head hurts so bad that maybe I should just stay home from work. But I thought, well, I need to go to work. So I went. And like I said, the headache went away. Headache went away mid-morning. So that was great. But then other stuff started happening. And I just was like, okay, I'm so glad it's Friday because I just want to go home. My goal was to film this morning, but my headache had other plans for me. And I know this seems like I'm not doing a whole lot here, and I'm not really. I'm just trying to kind of get the edge of that shade to just kind of blend a little bit better. So, and it is. I mean, it's not anything wrong with the shade. It's very pigmented. It's gorgeous. But I'm not always the greatest at doing that. I might have to use my e.l.f. palette. That's, you know, my little cheap palette, and I love it because it really helps me blend things if I don't really love how it's blended. I think that looks great. I'm going to leave it like that for right now and maybe mess with it later. So now I'm going to go into Poppy Stuff and put that right around here. So yeah, I was Marco Poloing Jan and Shawnee as I left work today to let them know what was going on. I had texted them and let them know that I was having kind of a rough day. And they're like, well, get your butt on Marco Polo so we can find out what's going on. So I messaged them and then I'm driving home. And the people that live down the street from my house, I think I've described this to you, but I'll briefly describe where I live. So I live on a street where at one end of the street is where I live, and there's houses that are like kind of like row houses. They're all right next to each other. They all look exactly the same. You know, cute, but nothing to sneeze at necessarily. I mean, I like my house, but I don't love my house. And across the street from us, we have a low-income apartment complex. It's a really cute apartment complex, and it's been there for a few years. But when they were getting ready to build the low-income apartment complex, the people that live at the other end of the street, which are the very, very wealthy, like McMansions, you know, there's like oral surgeons, lawyers, doctors, all that kind of stuff at the very other end of the street. About midway down the street, that's when those start. They were not having the low-income apartment complex built across the street, okay? They were furious, and there was like town hall meetings, and they were doing their best to make sure that that wasn't built, and it passed, the levy passed, and they built the low-income apartment complex across the street, much to the chagrin of the Richies down the street, right? So, I don't know. I don't really interact much with the people that live down at the other end of the street. But I do know a few of them. One of them is an oral surgeon because I used to work in the dental field. So I know him and his wife and his kids and stuff, sort of. And then one of them also was one of my son's football coaches. And he also played for the Oregon Ducks. Really nice guy. He is very nice. I really like his wife. I like his kids. They're all really cool, right? But some of the people that live down there are just assholes. So I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this shade right here called Summer Love and take the edge of those two shades off. Just do it very slowly and carefully so I don't have a blown out mess here. So like I said, I'm driving down the street, headed to my house, and there's a gentleman that has pulled up across the street from his house in a minivan. and is letting his kids get out and walk across the street. And their age is probably 9 to 2, I would say. And I always get really nervous when something like that happens because little kids are very unpredictable. And, you know, they sometimes will dart back out into the street, or, you know, they could be like hiding back behind. This is too bulky of a brush. Hold on, let me find a different brush. Voila. Okay, I knew I had a smaller brush. Or they'll be hiding behind the car and dart out. You know, it just makes me a nervous wreck. So I stopped my car just so that everyone could walk across the street. And I sat there for a little longer, just making sure that everybody was across the street, right? And all of a sudden, the dad is standing in the driveway. He goes, "Go!" Like, and I kind of looked at him and he goes, "Go!" again. So I rolled my window down and I said, "I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure everybody had crossed the street." And he said, "Well, we're all standing here in the driveway now, aren't we?" Or something like that. I thought, so I just rolled my window up and said a few choice words under my breath and drove the rest of the way home. But I was in the process of sending Shawnee and Jan the Marco Polo, and I kind of lost my poo after that guy said that to me. I was just like, "Who does he think he is? Bleepity bleep bleep bleep." And I'm like, so I deleted the message and started over and kind of gave him a more succinct rundown of what had happened at for my day, or during my day at work. Oh boy. So I just thought, you know what? I was just going to like lay down and rest tonight. I thought, you know, I really want to go film because I didn't get to film this morning. I want to film. That always lifts me up usually when I am having a bad day. You know, sometimes it's not that it doesn't lift me up. It's that I'm just so that I can't get out of that. And, you know, I don't really like to film in that mood because I don't think it's fair for you guys to have to see me all grumpy and stuff. I'm going to go back around, where is it? This brush, and just kind of blend that a little bit better because it's looking kind of funky. It's not the shadow's fault, it's my fault. So I'm just going to try to make that look a little better. But yeah, I'm really glad that I'm sitting down to film because I really wanted to film. You know, just really wanted to film for you guys tonight. And I just could not wait to play with this palette again because it's so gorgeous. It's so fun. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Okay, I really like how these two shades, or well, the 3 shades are all blended together. I really like it. I think it looks really cool. So now I think I am going to go into Poppy Blood. I might pop a little bit of this on my lower lash lines, but I mean, I could use the black matte, but I don't know. I think this is going to look so cool right up next to that. So yeah, I'm going to put Poppy Blood in my outer V and in my crease. So yeah, you know, I just try to remind myself that everybody has bad days at times and you get through it, you move on to the next day. And hopefully the next day is better. But I've always said, well, not always, but throughout my adult life, I've always said, thank goodness we don't have to live life in reverse, you know? Like you don't have to live over the same day again. Oh, yuck. That would not be cool. You know, it's just, sometimes there are just people around you that just, like, they're hell-bent on having a bad day, and so they're going to make everyone else's day around them bad too, you know? Kind of what I've discovered in life, and it's hard for me to understand that mentality because I don't want to have a bad day. And even if I am having a bad day, which I don't want, but even if I am, I don't want to make other people's day bad, you know? It's like, geez, but that's just, you know, unfortunately, that's just not always the way it is for some folks. They just really like to be the, like, rain cloud in everyone's life. It sucks when that happens. I love this shade. It's gorgeous. I love it. Poppy Blood. It's really nice. Very pigmented. And these mattes blend like a freaking dream. I'm telling you. They're amazing. And I'm taking this a little bit into the green. Not all the way across though. Not all the way to the outer or the inner corner here. Just a little ways into the green shade. Just because I think I should. And just kind of softly kind of smushing the shade around. I've learned that if you start blending a ton in 2 different tones, you know, like this green is very different from this red. It looks really dirty and really muddy. And I don't want to, I mean, that isn't always a bad thing. But in this case, I want to try to keep the red not super mushed in with that green, I guess is what I'm getting at. But it looks really cool with the orangey, rusty shade. I like that. So now I'm going to go back into Summer Love and put this around the edge. Just gonna blend that out a little bit more. I put it like I don't know, a little ways onto the orange shade and a little ways off of the orange shade. I can't talk. Lately in videos, my talking has not been great. I'm just like, beep, beep, bop, beep, beep. But it was wonderful because Shawnee and I got to laughing about all sorts of funny stuff. And she just turned my whole day around. You know, that's what's so awesome about really good friends, is that they can just turn your whole day around. Janny Boo goes to sleep pretty early, so she wasn't chatting with us. But Shawnee and I just got to howling, I mean, crying with laughter, both of us. It was so wonderful. I really am loving how this looks. I got a little bit of sparkly stuff on my eyelid. I don't know where that came from, but I don't care. You know, I'm going to put sparkly stuff on my eyelids now. So this one is going on now. This is Poppy Lava across the lid here. And I'm going to be using my Rougher 02 brush for that. Okay. God, you guys, this shade is so freaking awesome. I mean, look at that. Can you see the... I'm so excited. I just felt like, you know, green and orange and red for the mattes would look really cool with this. And, you know, I could have used completely different tones and maybe it would have stood out more, but I don't know. This is where my head was at. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. So from my vantage point, it's red and now it's green here. I don't know what you guys can see, but oh, holy cow. This is absolutely incredibly gorgeous. And I'm just going to take this up over my crease a little bit because, like I've always say, it's going to go up there anyway. So I might as well just help it right along. And I thought about maybe taking it all the way over, but I don't really want to do that because I really do want the red from the Poppy Blood shade to really like continue to show up, you know, not get swallowed up by the shimmer. Oh, this is so gorgeous. It's got such a great formula. It's super like thick and like sticky almost. Not sticky, but like it's not, no fallout. No fallout, no fallout, no fallout at all. What is wrong with me? I don't know. The languaging processor part of my brain has decided to go out to lunch. Okay, this is absolutely stunning. Although I'm like hunkering down because I don't know how my mirror gets so screwed up. Anyway, this is just freaking gorgeous. Oh, I love this look so much. I also thought about maybe pairing this with this shade here, but I think I am just going to throw that in my inner corner. I love having like a bright inner corner. That's so fun. So I am done with this. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I love the outer edge here. It blended so nicely. Love this color combo. Kind of looks like a stoplight, but I don't care. I'm all in for this. I'm going to go off camera, of course, clean this up, do my other eye, the rest of my goods here, and I'll come back. So of course, this is finished look number 2 and the final look for this video, and I really like how this look turned out. This is a completely different color combination than I think I've ever done before, and I really like how it turned out. I think out of the 2 looks I created, I like this one the best. So I will show you the eyeshadow palette again, but let me show you a few things I threw on my face for my finished look. On my lips, I used a lippy from Beauty Moon Cosmetics. This is a UK indie brand that I just love. And the brand owner was kind enough to throw this and 2 other lippies in my last order. And this is shade number 62. I just thought the red would look really nice with my eye look. This is a beautiful lip gloss, but it's not gooey or sticky, and it lasts really well on my lips, so that's wonderful. So thrilled that she threw these into my last order. For my upper lid liner, I'm using the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Waterproof Felt Tip Liner in black. My Fado Beauty Black Like My Soul felt tip liner is now in eyeliner heaven. I used it all the way up, so I will be ordering that again. But I just love this because it works so well and it's so cheap. And then for my mascara, I'm using the Banger Mascara again from Makeup Mecca. This is getting a little messy. The tube does get a little messy, but it could just be the way I use the tube too. You know, sometimes I'm not real thoughtful about what I'm doing with my mascara wand. So now let's talk about the Poppy Storm palette from Titanium Foxes. Now I was pretty sure I was gonna love this palette, and I absolutely love it. The color story is so beautiful and so unique and so much fun. And I really enjoyed the matte formulas of all the mattes that I used for both looks. Really lovely, blendable and pigmented, and all the things that I just search for in matte shades that I enjoy. all the mattes had all of those qualities that I used in both looks. And then the shimmers are absolutely gorgeous. That thick, buttery, opaque, amazing formula and quality. Super thrilled. I would say though that out of all of the shimmers I used, this is my favorite, the one I have on my lids in this look. It's that beautiful green and red flippiness that is just so much fun. It looks green in one light and then reddish orange in another light. It's just cool when you turn your head, you can see the different flippies. I love that. I did use this shade right here called Shy Ray of Light in my inner corners for this look. It's beautiful. It's kind of like an antique gold, very vibrant and beautiful. I think it added a really pretty touch of brightness to this look. This is a little bit more earthy, grungy color combination, I would say. And then I did grab this black matte and threw it on my outer part of my lower lash lines for this look. And I really liked how it worked, and I think it looks really nice. But man, this is so much fun. I cannot wait to use this again. I can't wait to dig into this shimmer and this shimmer here, and then of course the rest of the mattes. Oh, so much fun. I'm so happy that I discovered this brand on Instagram and that I picked up this palette. I would love to know if you guys have this palette and what you think of it, or anything else from Titanium Foxes. We can have a big love fest for this UK indie brand in my comment section. And I would love to know which look you like best, look number 1 or look number 2. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.